Project Playtime is getting shut down as of literally today, like 5 hours ago. They said that they would come back to Project Playtime. And today we got the message that, hey guys, we made the difficult decision to end support for Project Playtime. This was something that the team deliberated on and took very seriously. You can read more about it here. Okay? And if we click here, we come to this giant message. Project Playtime has always held a special place in the Poppy Playtime universe. It gave players a new way to experience Playtime Co. Brought friends together in so many wonderful, chaotic ways, and as a young studio, taught us a great deal about how we could be expanded beyond the main game chapters, inspiring us to explore new possibilities. With that being said, after much thought and countless conversations with our development teams, we've made the difficult decision to end operations for Project Playtime. But we know there's still a passionate group of players who continue to show up for Project Playtime, and we don't take that lightly. Your support and enthusiasm have meant the world to our team, and we're grateful for everyone who's a part of this crazy experiment that our team had a blast creating. So, they noticed us, guys. They finally noticed us. But it's too late. While this era is coming to a close, the truth is that Project Playtime was only the beginning. We're cooking up something pretty special that we'll be able to share with you soon. So stay tuned, but our Project Playtime community, we think you'll be pretty delighted. So that's good news. There is a possible multiplayer game coming to Poppy Playtime. At this point, it's maybe better for them to just make a new game and just, you know, like move on at this point, because they would have to go back and refix everything. All the problems with Project Playtime. And I would have wanted that. I would have been okay with that, but they didn't want to. Maybe they're just moving on. Maybe they'll make a new, better game with all the characters we want, all the maps we want, all the mechanics we want. Is it going to be Project Playtime? I'm highly doubtful it'll be Project Playtime 2 or Project Playtime Remaster. Possible, highly doubtful. But it's going to be something. And honestly, anything multiplayer Poppy Playtime, I'll probably play. So I'm excited for that. They said we'll share more details very soon about timing and what you can expect during this transition as we head towards server closure later this year. For now, we simply want to say thank you for playing and believing in Project Playtime. It's not goodbye, it's see you soon. With gratitude, the Mob Entertainment team. They said it's not goodbye, it's see you soon, so that makes me think it's going to be really similar to Project Playtime, or at least like a similar concept. But bro, what are we doing, guys? You can't tell us in February that, oh, we know you guys want Project Playtime back and we have plans. We have plans. That's all they tell us. We have plans to bring the game back. And then this. And I get it. It's like 5 months later. But like, guys. Listen, I love the guys at Mob. I know they've made some decisions that I'm not happy with, but I love their franchise. It's just like, bro, like, out of nowhere. I mean, the game was broken. We did just make a video on how it was pretty much unplayable. What if they make a game similar to Roblox? I think the game will be similar to Project Playtime in that it'll have the characters from the game. It'll have cosmetics. But I don't feel like it's gonna be Project Playtime. The only reason they said that they had plans for Project Playtime was to avoid backlash. Well, they're getting it now. They're getting it now, bro. It's really sad. Like I said, though, like, they had the money to do it. They just didn't want to. But you know what? Maybe we'll look back 6 months from now when they drop a banger multiplayer game and we'll say, you know what? I can't even say the words, I'm glad they closed Project Playtime. That won't come out of my mouth. But maybe we'll say, you know what? It's not so bad. You know? And all I hope is the next game doesn't follow the same path. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, bro. I'm really sad it's closing down. But at the same time, like, it kind of was coming. We kind of knew it was coming, guys. Did we not? We kind of knew Project Playtime was gonna shut down at some point soon. or at some point later. But let's not make those same mistakes again, Mob. You know what I'm saying? Dude, maybe the next game will be better, honestly. Like, let's be so for real. Project Playtime could have been so much, but it never really was that much. You know? Like, once it died, it was dead. Like, we cared, but it never really was, like... It never really was that much. I don't know. After phase 2. I'm actually sad, bro. Dude, Huggy's even sad. We just got kicked from the game. Does it even work anymore? I hope what they release is good. Dude, at that point, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. We're just hoping that whatever they do make, because we don't have any control over the fact that Project Playtime's going away. Whatever they do make, we're just hoping it's going to be good, bro. So the new multiplayer game will probably be like the chapters. I'm actually interested to see what they do with it, because let's be so for real. If I was creating a multiplayer game for Poppy Playtime, I have no clue what I would do. Like, if it's not Project Playtime, what would it be? I don't know. Do you think the new multiplayer could be Project just better? It's not going to be Project Playtime 2, I'll tell you that. They would have just told us. They would have just told us. In that, I've got to cancel out of this. They would have just said, we're shutting down Project Playtime 1, but don't worry, Project Playtime 2 is coming. They instead took the liberty of saying, actually, we're going to be doing something else. They didn't say we're going to be doing something else, but they did say, like, Project Playtime fans are going to be excited about what we have next. And it's like, we're excited about all the stuff, bro. Like, that's so vague. I don't know if it'll be Dead by Daylight concept, but I don't think it's going to be, like, basically Dead by Daylight, like Project Playtime concept again. If I was going to make a Poppy Playtime multiplayer game, I don't know what else I would do besides Project Playtime. Obviously, we need monsters, and we need players, right? Like, you need that for Poppy Playtime. You need to incorporate that in somehow. And so what is that going to look like, bro? Maybe different maps. Obviously, that would be sick, like different maps that are in the game. But, like, maps, monsters, players... The only thing that would change is how you play the game, like what the objective is. So I feel like this new game is going to feel very much like Project Playtime, but it will have different mechanics. That's my guess. That is my guess. I'm so sad I paid $10 for my Killy Willy skin. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro. Also, I feel like I'm inhaling Huggy's fuzz. Hopefully the Coca-Cola counter affects it. But listen, people like put a lot of money into this game, and especially like the really iconic cool skins like Killy Willy, bro. Like that digital IP that people paid for is lost forever. So I'm low-key like curious about what the laws are around that, because like, I don't know, bro. Like as a collector, in a collector mindset, I'm like, bro, I want, like if I had Killy Willy skin and I spent money for that, bro, I'd be so mad. I'd be so much more mad if I invested money into this game. I would have I gotten here earlier, but I did not, right? And so I feel like that's something important that is to note. Like, Project Playtime players need some sort of restitution if they're making another game, bro. Here's what we can look forward to. There's a really high chance that every single character will be in the next one. There's a really high chance. I think they baked Project Playtime into the lore too hard to where they couldn't actually add in everything they wanted to without really making huge plot holes in the lore. So I think they're gonna do it differently in the next one, and we are really gonna get to see all the content from Project Playtime really played out in a multiplayer sense. So in that sense, I'm looking forward to it, bro. Doing anything but bringing the game back. Actually, they're doing the opposite, bro. They're deleting the game. They literally said, guys, should we delete Project Playtime already? I think it's time to delete Project Playtime. Huggy, like, chill, bro. Ooh. You'll see that? That's Huggy abuse, bro. I'm gonna get canceled. I gotta lock in.